Okay, you guys, so I'm back again with a tasty treat and a delicious eat. I figure since it's fall now, or turning cold outside or cool outside, I thought why not have something that's for the holidays or for the season. So today I have a delicious and easy pumpkin and apple cake. That's what I'm calling it. Okay, let's get started. So again, this is the pumpkin I'm using. You could get the one from scratch and cut it up and bake it if you want, but I'm just using pumpkin in a can. It's so much easier. So I'm gonna start with my wet ingredients first. So here I have 3 beaten eggs, and that's 3 large, followed by 2 sticks of melted butter. And again, this is a treat, and the melted butter will help keep the cake very moist, and that's what you want. And one of the great things about making your own dessert, you can decide how sweet you want it. Now I have a cup of brown sugar, but if you don't want to do a full cup of brown sugar, you can do a half a cup. It's up to you. And that's going to be followed by, you know how much we love vanilla in this house. So vanilla, you can use an abstract or you can use a vanilla flavoring, whichever one you want. So I'm going to go in with 1 tablespoon. And you may think this is a lot, but the batter is very thick. Pumpkin and flour is very thick, so you actually want to taste the vanilla in the cake. So in fact, I have a little bit more, so it's going to be a tablespoon, about 2 tablespoons. But don't worry, all the ingredients and measurements will be in the description box. Okay, so now let's come in with our spices. Cinnamon, ground cinnamon. And one thing I like about this recipe is all of the seasonings, all of the spices you need, you can get it at your local market. It isn't anything that you will have to send away for or will cost a fortune. And this time of year, cinnamon, nutmeg, I'm sure you'll be able to find it. So I have 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and I'm gonna go in with 2. Again, but you believe it or not, pumpkin, it just absorbs these flavors, and they work together. Pumpkin and cinnamon, perfect. And nutmeg. Now with nutmeg is pretty strong, so I'm gonna use a little bit less. I'm gonna use 1 teaspoon of nutmeg, a little less than the cinnamon. Nutmeg is pretty strong, and again, if you don't like the flavor of nutmeg, you don't have to put it in. It will still be delicious. And I have, did I say pumpkin and apple? I hope I did. So here's the pumpkin, and here's the apple. Now I'm using a Red Delicious, but if you want to use Macintosh or if you want to use Gala, whatever apple you like, you can use it. It goes very well with this recipe. And if you didn't like apples, like the big apples, you don't want to actually taste apples in your cake, your pumpkin and apple cake, you can use applesauce. But we love apples. So over here, let me move this out the way. I have some apples that you can see. I just sliced them up. Not too big, not too small, medium slices. And I used about a whole apple. I have a little bit more left, so let me put the rest in. And I'm going to bring this back over. And again, you could cut this small or bigger if you want. If you really don't want to bite into it or taste it in your cake, you can use applesauce. But I love for my guests when they eat my cake or whatever I make, for them to actually taste what it is. So if I'm making a pumpkin and apple cake or dessert, I like for them to taste it. Taste the apple, taste the pumpkin. Okay, all in. Now, here's the star of the show, pumpkin. And I'm using about 8 ounces of this. There we go. And it's just so much easier than buying a pumpkin and carving it and boiling it down. You know, you really want to get a nice dessert on the table for your family. And they're going to enjoy it because you're making it with love. And what ingredients that you want in your cake or your dessert. Okay. So now we're going to stir this to combine it So now we have the eggs, we have the apple, we have the butter, the cinnamon, nutmeg. Oh, this smells so delicious. There we go. And the reason why I'm steering to combine this before I put the flour in is because if you do this with the flour, it can make your dessert a little bit tough and what they call overwork the batter. And you really don't want that, so it's already combined. Now I'm coming in with self-rising flour. Why am I using self-rising flour? Because it already have the baking soda and yeah, all of the baking soda is already in it and baking powder. If you use all-purpose, you will have to add the baking soda, baking powder, and salt. So you skip that step, save some time, and you just want to keep stirring and wiping down the edges until it's combined, until you see no more white flour. Once you do, you can just stop because you don't want to overbeat the batter. And you see how this batter is kind of thick? It is thick. We don't want it too thick, but we don't want it too thin. And this is a little thick. So I'm going to come in with 1/3 cup of milk. And you can use any milk that you like. You can use a nut milk, oat milk. They have so many milks now, but just, okay. It loosens up the batter. And believe it or not, even though it may look like it's too loose, it will absorb. Okay, I'm going to set this to the side. And I have a silicone baking dish that I love. As you can tell, I use it a lot. And because it's silicone, you don't really have to prepare it with oil, but I always do. Okay. Let's get all that deliciousness in. There we go. Please take a minute, hit the subscribe button. It costs absolutely nothing, but it really helps the channel. Hit the like button. Please, it's actually free, and I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers. I would love to do that before the new year. Okay, so let me pull this out so I think you got a better view of what it is. I'm going to put that in my oven at 300 for about 30 minutes, but everyone's oven is different. So I would say after 25 minutes, check it. Okay, so look how beautiful that looks. That is beautiful. I hope you can see it. I'm trying to adjust the lighting. This is a beautiful, delicious treat. Now I took it out the oven after 30 minutes and I let it cool. So you want to put it in your refrigerator, or you can leave it out for at least 15 minutes, but you definitely want it to cool. Now this is delicious. You can serve it absolutely like this. But I think I'm going to try to spice it up just a little bit. So I have Cool Whip. Y'all know how I love Cool Whip. It's my go-to. So again, this is absolutely beautiful. But I think I'm going to try to do a little bit design, if I can. Let's see. Right in the center. And again, this is just Cool Whip. If I can get it all out without it melting. There we go. And because this is homemade, you can make it look any kind of way you want. I have a couple of sprinkles. I really hope you take this and make this for your family, make it your own. Again, take a minute, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It's actually free and it really helps the channel. There we go. I think that's beautiful and wonderful. Give it a try. Until next time, enjoy.